the final months of World War II, Europe was collapsing into chaos. Cities burned under relentless bombing, armies retreated across shattered landscapes, and the once powerful regime of Nazi Germany was rapidly falling apart. But as the war approached its end, something strange began to happen. Convoys carrying stolen treasures disappeared along dark mountain roads. Secret research facilities were abandoned almost overnight, and enormous amounts of gold and priceless artifacts simply vanished. In the final days of the war, officials working under Adolf Hitler rushed to hide valuable treasures, classified documents, and experimental technologies before Allied forces could capture them. Some of these secrets were destroyed, others were buried deep underground, and some may still be hidden somewhere in Europe today. For more than 70 years, historians, treasure hunters, and researchers have searched for clues, exploring tunnels, scanning mountains, and reopening long-forgotten bunkers. Yet many of these secrets remain unsolved. From missing treasure rooms to rumored secret weapons, the final days of Nazi Germany left behind a trail of mysteries that still puzzle historians today. One of the most famous of these mysteries is the disappearance of the Amber Room. Often described as the eighth wonder of the world, the Amber Room was one of the most extraordinary artistic creations ever built. Constructed in the early 18th century, the chamber was decorated with elaborately crafted panels made from amber, fossilized tree resin that glowed with a warm golden light. Combined with gold leaf and mirrors, the room created a breathtaking display unlike anything else in Europe. Originally located in the Catherine Palace near St. Petersburg, the Amber Room became a symbol of imperial Russian luxury. But in 1941, when Nazi forces invaded the Soviet Union, the chamber became a target. German troops carefully dismantled the amber panels and transported them to the city of Königsberg, where the room was reconstructed and displayed for several years. Then near the end of the war, the Amber Room vanished. Most historians believe it was likely destroyed during the intense bombing raids that devastated Königsberg in 1944 and 1945. But because no definitive physical evidence has ever been recovered, a smaller number of researchers hold out hope that it was secretly hidden by retreating German forces in tunnels, mines, or underground bunkers. Despite all these efforts, the original Amber Room has never been found. But the disappearance of priceless treasures did not end there. Another strange mystery emerged from the mountains of southwestern Poland near the city of Wałbrzych. According to wartime rumors and local legends, as Allied armies pushed deeper into German territory, Nazi officials began moving stolen wealth out of vulnerable cities. Gold bars, jewels, artwork, and valuable artifacts were reportedly loaded onto a heavily armored train. The train was then sent into a secret tunnel somewhere in the nearby mountains. After entering the tunnel, the entrance was allegedly sealed, hiding the train and its cargo deep underground. This story became known as the legend of the Nazi gold train. For decades, treasure hunters have searched the region hoping to uncover the hidden train. Modern expeditions have used ground-penetrating radar and advanced scanning technology to search for underground tunnels beneath the mountains. Several teams have reported detecting unusual structures underground, yet despite these discoveries, the legendary train has never been confirmed. Still, many believe it may remain hidden somewhere beneath the mountains. But treasure was not the only secret the Nazis may have left behind. Some mysteries involve technology that was far ahead of its time. Among the strangest of these is a device known as Die Glocke, a name that translates from German as the bell. According to post-war accounts, this mysterious device was part of a secret research project conducted by Nazi scientists. Witnesses described it as a large metallic structure shaped like a bell, suspended inside a concrete chamber with rotating cylinders filled with an unknown substance. However, historians are deeply skeptical. The story originates almost entirely from a single post-war source, with no supporting wartime documents ever discovered. Most serious researchers consider Die Glocke to be more legend than history, a product of the murky mix of rumor and myth that surrounded Nazi secret programs after the war. Still, the story continues to fascinate those drawn to the stranger corners of World War II history. But perhaps the most persistent myth of all concerns Adolf Hitler himself. According to the historical record, supported by eyewitness accounts, Soviet autopsy findings, and decades of investigation, Adolf Hitler died in April 1945 inside the Führer bunker as Soviet forces closed in on Berlin. In the years following the war, rumors spread suggesting he had somehow escaped to Argentina, where several former Nazi officials were known to have settled. These claims have been thoroughly examined and consistently rejected by historians. There is no credible evidence that Hitler survived the fall of Berlin. Yet the escape theory continues to appear in books, documentaries, and online discussions, a reminder of how persistent a myth can be, even when the history is clear. But not every mystery from the final days of Nazi Germany involves hidden treasure or escape rumors. Some center on the vast network of secret underground facilities built during the final years of the war, including one of the most mysterious projects ever undertaken by the regime of Adolf Hitler, known as Project Riese. As Allied forces closed in during World War II, the regime of Adolf Hitler began constructing enormous tunnel complexes beneath mountains and forests across Germany, Austria, and Poland. These underground sites were designed to hide factories, research laboratories, and military technology safely away from Allied bombing raids. Built deep within the Owl Mountains of southwestern Poland, the project involved miles of tunnels carved directly into solid rock. Thousands of forced laborers were brought in to construct the complex under brutal conditions. Yet even today, historians are not entirely certain what the tunnels were meant to contain. Some believe they were intended as underground weapons factories. Others suggest they may have been designed as a hidden headquarters for the Nazi leadership as the war turned against them. Large portions of the tunnel network remain unfinished or sealed off, and many chambers have never been fully explored. Occasionally, researchers and explorers still investigate parts of these complexes, hoping to uncover documents, equipment, or clues that might explain their true purpose. But decades after the collapse of Nazi Germany, the full story behind many of these underground projects remains uncertain. And some historians believe that one of those missing pieces may be connected to a secret program known as Operation Bernhard, a covert Nazi operation designed to flood Allied countries with counterfeit currency and destabilize their economies. When the war ended, the printing equipment, the forged notes, and large amounts of real gold used to fund the operation simply vanished. Some of it was recovered from the bottom of an Austrian lake, but much of it was never found. Others point to a network of escape routes known as the Rat Lines, underground paths used by Nazi officials to flee Europe after the war. These routes were carefully organized, well-funded, and moved not just people, but money, documents, and stolen property across borders before Allied investigators could close in. What traveled along those routes, and where it ended up, has never been fully mapped. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.